Hey, how would you like to learn what the spirit realm thinks about life and death? If this interests you, you want to stay tuned in for your 5-minute spirit reboot with my special guest today. She is a soul healer. She's an author of Infinite Life, Infinite Lessons, Wisdom from the Spirit World on Living, Dying, and the In-Between. Susan Grau, welcome.
Thank you for having me.
It's my pleasure. Susan, can you give us a summary of what you learned about life and death and between?
Well, there is no life or death. That's what I learned. So I was locked in an unplugged freezer in a garage, and I had a very profound near-death experience. And what I learned in that was that we don't die. And there is love, kind of like when we're born here, we're wrapped in a blanket of love and put in our mother's arms. When we get there, we're wrapped in a blanket of love and we're put in the arms of the spirit world. And it is a beautiful, amazing place that's mystical and magical.
How old were you when this happened?
I was 4.5. Some boys I was playing with, they told me to climb up and get popsicles, and I was too young to understand that it was unplugged. And I climbed in. It was in our garage, and I climbed in, and they slammed the freezer door, and they closed the garage door, and they ran home, so no one could hear me.
So when you talk about this book being a roadmap for transcendence, can you explain?
Well, there's a different belief system in all different cultures, and there's all different ways that we think we're going to get there. And the roadmap is simply love, self-love and love of others. And, people ask me, what's the hierarchy that gets us there? And I say the hierarchy is love. We're looking for some special place or some special thing we do, and none of that's necessary. We just need to understand what love is.
I agree 100%. How can someone begin to embrace love? What would you recommend for somebody who's a student?
Well, I don't think we'll ever quite feel that unless we've been on the other side, which we have been, but we don't remember that. So I really believe that the best way to do that is to be present. Life's in session. And are we present is the question. And, people aren't. If I asked you what colors you walked by on your way into work, you'd probably tell me, I don't know. But when we're present, we understand, we feel, we experience in our clairs all of the experiences of the afterlife.
What would you say then, other than love, was another big takeaway that you gleaned from this experience?
Well, the most important is that we don't die. These are just vessels for us to move around in. And I understand now that we've had infinite lives, but I feel like everything is a lesson and nothing is a punishment. So everything is for us to learn. And, we sometimes go, why would God do that to me? Or why would Spirit allow? And really, we have choices and we have doors in front of us. And they showed me that, and that they are the pavers of the path, but we have free will. And that free will dictates a lot on our journey.
So if somebody hears that, what can they gather from that experience?
Is that their soul goes on, and it has meaning, and it has lessons for us, and we are meeting a higher level of self when we cross. We don't just disappear, and we are always infinite, and we are always in another movement of growth.
Don't you think, though, a lot of people would be not so fearful of taking risk in their life if they knew life continued on?
Yes. And for me, even I took more risks because life continued on. I was always looking for that next thing that I could learn or grow with. And it's not because I had a near-death experience. I'm having a human experience like everyone else. I screw up all the time. I make all kinds of mistakes. But all those mistakes have taught me that I don't need to be afraid, because they all seem to work themselves out, always. Being afraid of the afterlife does not serve us. Being afraid that there isn't one does not serve us. Either way, we are going to be where we're going to be. So if there is nothing, then there's nothing to worry about. And if there's something, wonderful.
Thank you for sharing your wisdom from your own personal experiences. I appreciate that. Where can people find Infinite Life, Infinite Lessons?
Amazon, Goodreads, Barnes & Noble, anywhere that books are sold, you will find it.
If you like this episode and you want more, remember you can tune into your spirit each and every day by subscribing to the podcast. Please rate it and share it. Thank you.